I can't believe the state to which the country has degenerated. I've been in contact with a reliable source within the Canadian military, and he told me today by email that if I had any sense, I'd take my money out of the Canadian banks because the situation is far worse than I've been informed. And so that's just one of many such messages I receive on a daily basis. So let's talk about the banks. So here's what our Prime Minister did last week. He permanently destroyed 20% of the population's faith in the entire Canadian banking system and stained the Canadian banking system's international reputation, I would say, for decades.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Yeah, that's not the only country having bank issues. Now Russia's having one. Ukraine is having one. The EU is having one. So for the past, 2 years, I've been telling people, man, you know what? You shouldn't trust the banks and you probably should move your money out of them. There was a reason for it. If you can't see the bigger picture by now, I don't know how much more to definitely paint it for you. What's happening right now, this is a planned event. What, you think Biden and Putin aren't on the same team? Haven't I proved that already? Now, sure, I'll do it again here. So, is there a crap storm approaching? Nah, it's pretty much here. And if you don't have the right umbrella, you're going to get crapped all over. Before we get started, hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so. Because when you do, it helps the channel. And I surely do appreciate it. By now, if you haven't figured it out, you should be moving into gold and silver. It is out of the system. The CBDC is now being forced on people across the world. How much longer till it gets here? They'll make every excuse in the world for us to get into the central bank digital currency. You know, the one with the expiration date on it, the one that's programmable, that they tell you what you can and can't buy with. Yeah, that one. That's coming here. So buy gold and silver. Get out of the system. Protect yourself. Cryptos are not even safe. So when you go to buy your gold and silver, go check out our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. If you're one of these people talking about, well, how much money am I going to make holding on to gold and silver? You're missing the bigger picture of what gold and silver can do for you. What good is it how much money your crypto makes you if you can't have access to it? Or if they confiscate it? Or if they tax it 30%? Yeah, that's the taxes. So already what, a 30-year money? Gone. And not only that, cryptos are subject to bail-ins. I showed you the paperwork that the bank hands out informing you about what a bail-in is. I showed you guys. What does it say? Including cryptos. So if your bank account is linked to any kind of cryptocurrencies, they will confiscate them. Back in the olden days, you used to talk about how cryptos, you can manipulate them. Governments couldn't touch them. Wrong. Money outside the system. The true value of gold and silver is true freedom. Now, I played this before, and I'm going to play it again just to remind you guys. Joe Biden's presidential campaign slogan was Build Back Better. That slogan actually comes directly from the Great Reset. The Great Reset is a brainchild of the World Economic Forum. And the founder of the World Economic Forum is Klaus Schwab. This man here, let's hear what he has to say.
I have to say, when I mention now names like Sis Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. Mm-hmm. But what we are very proud of now, the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina.
You heard him. They're proud of their World Economic Forum globalist leader, which includes Merkel and Putin. That means Putin and Biden are on the same damn team. So if you take a look at their proud world globalist leaders, have any of them been in the news recently? Trudeau, Putin, Biden. Yeah, nothing is ever done by accident. Nothing is what it appears to be. And if you are not protecting yourself, you're only hurting yourself and those you love. Let's take a look at the markets, and yes, I see it. I told you if it's actually falling to Wyckoff, you're going to see a takeoff here sooner or later. Whether it was in that time frame or a little before or a little after, we will see a little dip, the jump off, or the what they call it, the low volume sell off. We saw it, and now it's taken off. Now they're going to use cryptocurrencies as a way to suck people into their trap. I really believe that now. Again, I still have a percentage. I'm diversified in cryptos just in case, but I don't trust anything that I'm seeing out there right now. Nothing at all. Cryptocurrencies are meant to keep people away from gold and silver, and they're doing a heck of a job. But there are a lot more people wising up, specifically the central banks. Do as they do, not as they say. You don't see central banks stocking up on cryptos. Think about that. Does that make any sense whatsoever? So if you see them all rushing to buy gold, and the bankers are who rule the world, then why the hell don't they go stock up on cryptocurrencies? Bitcoin, 41,207. It is above the $41,000 mark. Ethereum's at $2,800. XRP, the New World Order crypto, is at 75 cents. Cardano is at 93 cents. Solana is at $96. Polkadot's at $17.71. Dogecoin's at 12 cents. Shiba at 4025. Shiba's starting to become a real reliable coin. The more I watch it and realize that whenever something terrible happens on the market or something great happens on the market, it doesn't really move all that much. It's starting to look more and more like a stable coin. Polygon's at $1.55. Crypto.com's at 42 cents. Again, the vast majority, if you look at the 52-week average, the vast majority of them are still towards the left side, which is not the right side. We want it to go more towards the right, although some of them are heading towards the halfway mark. Good jump for Bitcoin, but not unexpected, especially during times of turbulence like this, when they're trying to keep people from going to gold and silver. If we believe that they're manipulated, it makes sense to me that all of a sudden you would start to see some major runs into cryptocurrencies. And they're going to use all kinds of headlines to suck you into them. Tatama 7016. Over the past hour, it's down 1.3%. Over the past 24 hours, it's down 1.4%. Over the last 7 days, it's down 6.2%. And over the last 14 days, on average, it's down 11%. And over the last 30, on average, it is down 39.6%. Saitama started to make a nice little climb, a healthy climb. A high tide lifts all boats, so as Bitcoin starts to make its run, you will see these other cryptos go up as well, barring any major interference. Silver above $24 at $24.30. It was a crazy scene once they announced that Russia had invaded Ukraine. We saw silver really take off like a bat out of you-know-what, and then all of a sudden get totally smacked down by the powers that be by manipulating the price. Again, if you're worried about what the value of gold and silver is, you're missing a much, much bigger picture. Way bigger. It's your freedom that's at stake. If you don't have anything outside of the system and they have the ability to program your money that expires and determines what you can and can't buy with, is that true freedom? No, that means you're in perpetual enslavement. Yes, gold and silver, you better be out of the system. Silver, $24.30. Gold still lingering around that $1,900 mark, started to take off just like silver did, but got the same smackdown. Why banks continue to, and I mean banks are now gobbling up gold at a neck-breaking pace. Gold sitting at $1,898.80. Gold started off real good and then just started to get the smackdown again. It was above 1900, sitting around 1920 something, and is now down to, like I said, $1,898. Do not be fooled by this. As a matter of fact, what you should be thinking is, man, what a great present. How nice of them to hold the price down for me as well and jump all over this bad boy. So you heard Jordan Peterson talking about bank runs. They're not the only one. Guess who else is doing bank runs? Yes, Russia. Of course, people are going to say, well, yeah, it's invading and this and that, and it's getting its assets frozen. All these are test runs. Man, nobody cares. People complain, they complain, they complain. Congratulations, you got a bunch of trucks going to your capitals, honking all kinds of horns. I know you guys want that peaceful rally, but at what point do you go, this peacefulness isn't working? It's like punishing your kid by putting him in timeout. Yeah, how successful was that? Bank of Russia resumes gold buying after 2-year pause. Whoop. I wonder why. Where in here do you see them buying Bitcoin? The Bank of Russia said it will start purchasing gold again just under 2 years after it ended a long-running buying spree that helped prop up bullion prices last decade. So you got to look at this. Look at this. Elon Musk activates Starlink satellite in response to the Ukraine plea. Yeah, that's what it is. It's because of the Ukraine, right? So for those who don't know what the Starlink satellite is, it's that 60 satellites that were shot into the air at low orbit by Elon Musk. It's to offer the highest speed internet ever. Anytime you have anything that somebody else controls, you're never ever truly free. You're at the mercy of their whim. In other words, if they feel like it, they will. If they want to start censoring, they can. If they want to start blocking, they can. That's not freedom. You see, sometimes technology, as much as it makes it convenient for you, you're swapping convenience for your freedom. The central bank will begin buying gold again on the domestic precious metals market. It said in a statement, this move comes after the Monetary Authority and several of the country's commercial banks were sanctioned in response to Russia's planned event in Ukraine. Of course they're buying gold. Why would a country buy gold? To escape what? Sanctions. Why? Because it gives them the freedom to do so. Putin was ready for this. He was absolutely ready for this. He spent all them years buying a ton of gold. Not crypto, gold. You see people in Russia use crypto from time to time, but that's not what the banks are doing. They said the Bank of Russia spent 6 years rapidly accumulating gold, doubling its holding and becoming the biggest sovereign buyer. It stopped in March 2020 as prices spiked on the onset of the RONA and has largely kept the stockpile steady since. The Russian purchases provided a key pillar of support for the market at the time when demand from investors was muted. Gold swung wildly last week, surging as investors turned to safe haven assets after Russia invaded Ukraine and then tumbled back down as Western nations imposed sanctions. Yeah, that's what it was, imposed sanctions. You mean they dumped a crap load of paper on the market and made it look like people were dumping gold and silver. You know that if they're using the paper market to manipulate the prices, you should take advantage of it as well. If you're sitting there going, man, I've dumped X amount of money into gold and silver and I lost this much if the price went down, or you're going, oh, I gained this much as the price goes up, then you're definitely into it for all the wrong reasons. Don't get me wrong, who doesn't want to make money off it? But if you think the prices are going to stay this low in a very, very near future, you're not seeing a much bigger picture. There's already a short on metals around the world. With the CBDC coming, with them getting ready to manipulate or bar cryptos altogether, and the central banks buying up all the gold. There's a reason why they're buying up all the gold. Now here's the thing that gets me. Look at this. Ukraine asks exchanges to freeze Russian crypto accounts. What? You mean there's somebody out there that has the ability to freeze accounts if they want to? Huh? What happened to that decentralized freedom? Remember all this stuff they told us about? Decentralized platform, nobody can manipulate it, nobody could do this, nobody could do that. That might be the case of the blockchain itself, but that doesn't keep exchanges from interfering. You have a country asking an exchange to freeze the assets of another country. That's not freedom, despite what you think about what's going on. Ukraine's vice prime minister and minister of digital transformation, they have a prime minister for digital transformation. Here in the United States, it has opened up a whole new department to handle cryptocurrencies. Ain't nothing like keeping out of that government control. It asked that all major crypto exchanges to block address of Russian users. Okay, pay attention. It didn't say the Russian government. It said Russian users. That's because the government doesn't play with cryptos. So how is it affecting it? Russian users. Because you don't know which ones are helping the government and which ones are not. Isn't that what they're going to tell us? Isn't that what you think? Or can it be that every time they want to do something against the populace, they just create some kind of major event and then go, hey, that's the reason for us confiscating or stopping the usage of cryptocurrencies? You got one country asking exchanges everywhere to freeze up the cryptos of another country's citizens. Not the government, the citizens. Yeah, there's your safe haven for you, crypto people. Ukraine government targets Russian crypto wallets with bounties. So what do they do? Yeah, you gotta love this. Is another one of my fears. So Ukraine is offering bounties for hackers who could break into the crypto wallets and steal cryptos from Russians. Concerns rise over Russians' ability to evade sanctions via the crypto market. Ukraine vice president offers bounties for politically connected crypto wallets. How do you know who is politically connected and not? On Friday, the ECB president Lagarde talked of ways and means to block access to crypto funds. You got to see the bigger picture. You can't keep going, oh, those are for the government people only. No, no, no. The fact that they have this ability, these are like test runs. This is their ability to see what they can and can't do to the crypto market. How much of a threat is the crypto market to governments around the world, to banks around the world? If you can seize their assets, good, then you don't have a problem with cryptocurrencies. If you could block it, if you could steal it, confiscate it, if you can hack into it, good. Then they'll leave it alone. Because that means at any time they can grab control of the crypto market. Their biggest fear is that they have zero control. That they ask for exchanges to freeze accounts and they don't. Or if they try to hack them and they can't hack them. So they'll go after the citizens and just claim, well, I mean, we don't know which ones work with or don't work with the government. This is a dry run. Ukraine's crypto community is ready to provide a generous reward for any information about crypto wallets of Russian and Belarusian politicians and their surroundings. War crimes must be pursued and punished. So see, they're just going to freeze the assets and claim that they're doing it for war crimes. Yeah, I don't know, people. You keep investing into those cryptocurrencies. Don't get me wrong. You have a chance to make money off of them. But is it worth it? Is it worth gambling your possible freedom? I don't think so. Sanctions on Russians have become extensive in recent days. Following hefty sanctions last week, the West announced the blocking of certain Russian banks from the SWIFT payment system over the weekend. You don't see anything on here about the what? Don't you think this would be a good time for them to announce this? The quantum financial system. Do you see any announcement about the quantum financial system? No. The SWIFT system. That's the reason why all these people are trying to de-dollarize. That's why you see them stacking up on gold. Oh yeah, you gotta love this guy here. Former CFTC chairman on Russian sanctions, CBDCs. Gee, I guess where this guy sits. Guess what he's created? Former Commodities Future Trading Commission, Christopher Giancarlo, is worried central banks' digital currencies, the CBDC, in the hands of adversary can bust U.S. sanctions. Yeah, okay. That's what cryptos can do. You see, the central bank digital currencies are programmable, so don't fall for this. That's why the U.S. should accelerate creating its own digital currency. You see that? Hey, here's an excuse for us to rapidly force Americans into the CBDC. We'll use a war as an excuse, and they'll go for it because they're suckers. Gold and silver. CBDCs are absolutely being seen as a form of StarCraft by countries that have been subject to Western sanctions in the past and wish to have a way to avoid that in the future. No, the CBDC, that is the central bank's digital currency. All central banks report back to the same group of evil people. There are a couple exceptions. One is a central bank inside Russia, although I find that hard to believe now. In China's, they don't report back to the BIS. These other ones do. No, this is just their grand scheme plan to use as an excuse to force people into central bank's digital currency. You didn't think this wasn't going to come, did you? Did you think they would come out and ask you if you feel like going? No, they'll use some major crisis and say, hey, this is why we got to go. This is when you start swapping your freedoms for protection. And what did Benjamin Franklin say? Once you start swapping your freedoms and your rights for security, you lose them both. So there you go. This whole event is just a push to get everybody into this central bank digital currency. I love how they say that countries are circumventing sanctions by using this central bank digital currency when that's a lie. They're conflating central bank digital currencies with cryptocurrencies. Countries are using cryptocurrencies to try to go ahead and circumvent sanctions. We're seeing it in El Salvador, not central bank digital currencies. Look, not everything is a conspiracy. Just because it sounds like one doesn't mean it is. If you can't see the bigger picture, that this is all one huge game, that you thought some white hats are going to come along and save you, and that there's people in Gitmo being tried and executed, and that clones are in charge, and that you should be into cryptocurrencies, yeah, well, you keep running down that path there, because sooner or later, when you need money because you can't feed your kids, or you can't make a house payment, or you have no way to barter, and you have no way to barter. Why? Because you didn't buy gold and silver. Instead, you bought cryptocurrencies that you no longer have access to, or that they turn around and froze your cryptocurrencies and then pushed it into the central bank digital currency on your behalf that they control. Good luck with that. Anyways, that's it for now. You guys hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.